comics in general are pushing the boundaries between digital journalism and in print because they're forced to. Because it's small press. Because you can print 24 copies of your comic, and you can have it online. You can just do what you want. You can play around with it. You're not restricted to anything. If you want to do something purely online, do it online. If you want to do something in print, do it in print. But then there's also a lot of mixing up as well. There are people who start as a webcomic, and then of course, they also know people value something. People like to have something in their hands as well. Why there's a big move to graphic novels as well, so that you can just get a big chunk of comic at the same time. But they also value being able to see it online as well. So it's the two mesh, but it's picking your advantages on each of them. It's very difficult to make any money off a webcomic, but what it
economies of scale, isn't it, really? And
I can put it down over
how much,
it's a
as soon as everything starts shifting towards the internet, there's less money inside the paper-based industry. People still want to pick up a comic. I mean, I still want to pick up a comic and read it. Where there's not as many people buying it, who's going to invest in it? I think the difference here is a lot of people do it for a laugh. They do it for fun as well.
There's a lot of people doing it for a laugh, but it becomes part of your living. And there's people who it does creep into a living. A lady you're going to speak to in a minute is Mal over at Fallen Angel Media. Now she's doing. There's also a company called Topato.
Hello.
I think that's what they're called. I always get that wrong. Anyway, they're. It's almost the future of comics publishing in the sense that print on demand allows you not to have the overheads of ordering 1,000 at a time or several thousand at a time.
On the chair, that's one about the best way I've got.
Which means that the revenue you make on each individual issue is lower, but then at the same time only the people who want a physical copy get a physical copy. So it works in itself. You can't employ like 100 people, copywriters, designers, proofers, all to do. You end up with smaller groups of people doing it. Just one person is a typical, or even two is a typical team for a webcomic. But then they need much less to live on. So it's.
How do you do your comics? Do you use a computer, or do you like just your income and that's it? I'm a weird balancing act. I believe.
Oh, in that case,
this doesn't pay me bills. I mean, it pays. Increasingly, it pays. It makes a profit. But cheers, Ombre.
I've been told.
Sorry, free comments. Anyway, increasingly, it makes a profit. It doesn't make a loss. But hold on, I forgot. What was the question again?
Do you use computers?
For me, it's a question of speed. I need to get the thing done as fast as possible. And computers are an essential part of that. Now, I draw by hand faster than I can do using Wacom tablet. So I do it by hand. I like the feel of it. I like the finish of it. However, I remember years ago filling stuff in with doing your black fills with a brush. It's pointless. A computer does it faster and better and more evenly. So the technique I currently employ is a mixture of animator's blue pencil and then ink it by hand. Then I scan it and play around with the layout, the format, the black fills and stuff like that on the line. And then I suddenly realised that for speed and for liking the finished result, I like watercolour. So I then print it out again and then watercolour it and then scan it and I've got the finished product. Which seems a little bit involved in a kind of you have to scan a couple of times and so forth. But also I get the result I want and I get it as fast as I possibly can. Because I'd love to spend hours doing everything, but I found the system that works. Computers are really useful. I mean, at the very least, just for layout. There's just too much to do. You did the whole thing. Massive boom.
Because with computers, it really speeds up things. And like you were saying, you need a designer, you need a writer, you need everything else. And you can be your own designer, you can be your own writer as well.
Possibly not as well, as smoothly, but you can do it. Yeah, you're right, you can do it. It's a question of, it's just a question of optimising. It's an optimisation process by making your effort yield as much as possible. I do a comic every 6 months, which breaks me a little bit. But I'm constantly sort of updating the way I do things to try and make it so I get more comic done and less faffing around. I reuse the formatting from the previous comics because it works, it's there, it exists, and I can just cut and paste back into the file again. My friend Mal's going to take over a lot of my online shop, which means that I can then do more drawing. But then she's going to be doing online shops for me and several other comic artists, so therefore she can make some money on it. We'll make less, but then do you know what I mean? It'll take me less time and effort. It's not a question of being paid for my time, it's more a question of making sure that the time I put in is more valuable, and everything I draw has got more value than everything I put in an envelope. So,
do you think there are any drawbacks to using computers?
It can make you
take any of the creativity out of it, or like the thought process.
It can do, but then I'd say the same's true for doing it by hand. If you've got an idea, you can make it happen, and in some ways it makes it. You can make even more beautiful things than you would make before. Just for an example, I decided I'd do some backgrounds. I love my crisp black and white work. I enjoy it. But for a few of these, I started knocking up grayscale, sort of a nice, actually shaded background, and then superimposing it behind it again. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without a computer, simply because I'd have had to draw it and then go around it, and I've got it wrong, and then scan it and rescan it, and it works. It's just you can do much more. It could make you lazy, but at the very least, the difference between comics always exist in the zone between a static image and a film or movie, anything animated. One's pure moving images, the other is totally static, and somewhere between is sequential frames. Sequential art's a common name. And with computers, then you can start doing weird other stuff. You can have sequential panels where the occasional panel moves. You can guide people through. Scott McCloud, if you've read it before, discussing a lot of the more general points, like the idea of the infinite canvas.
Got a couple of stuff. Can you tell me where your ideas come from? Because that's what I'm interested in.
You sort of took me on a tangent there. I could have told you that quicker. I have no idea.
I've also thought about like mocking like fetish. It's like, you know,
I have no idea.
It is absolutely. I mean, I haven't laughed at it from ages, but I really laughed at it.
I can tell you where it started. I was at my brother's wedding, and I got chatting to a friend of his, and she was telling me about her boyfriend having this like allergy to milk, whereby he smelt of cheese afterwards. And I went, "That's a brilliant superhero. He's called Lactose Intolerant Man." And I went, "No, he's called Lactose Intolerant Boy." And then I needed a superhero, and Fetish Man was born.
I was Fetish Man. Who was Fetish Man? Was that you?
No, it's a long story that I'm banned from discussing.
Oh right. Take it to the grave.
Oh no, these guys know. I get drunk and tell them. Don't. No, these guys don't know. No, they do know.
I do.
They don't know.
I do.
I don't know. It came about. It's one of those things where it's just. I wanted to make a comic. I had several ideas, and the Fetish Man comic just was. I don't know. It's crisp. It's clean, and the humour's unique. I enjoy it.
What do you think about small press and thought bubble?
It's beautiful. Thought Bubble's a lovely little convention. It's not little, it's huge. And the small press really gives. You were talking about creativity earlier. It gives people the opportunity to make utterly weird, bizarre, mad, interesting stuff. Dear God, do you think I could sell the concept of Fetish Man to a proper publisher? Maybe eventually, but at the moment,
I think it's possible because I was talking to someone. Do you like they have 4 babe station channels on digital TV? And I find that funny.
I know, but
it's just absolutely hilarious. But there's an avenue there.
Oh, there's an avenue eventually, but
yeah, I think there would be. Yeah.
There's such weird and beautiful stuff going around. The convention I went to years ago, I think the guys are still around. It's the tiny. I can't remember what they are. They're tiny Bernard Cribbins, books about Bernard Cribbins and his fictional adventures in space and stuff. I mean, where does that come from?
Well, it works.
There's space for every different thing, which means that you end up with some amazing things. You end up with some rubbish as well, but it doesn't matter. It's just beautiful, beautiful thing.
I better go now. I need to go and catch up with another guy, but thanks a lot, pal.
Pleasure, man. Good luck.
Thanks a lot, geezer.
No
I'll come
worries.
back for that story.
Do you want a scarf, man?